This is the United Nations announced Friday that Secretary-General Antonio Guterres will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow on Tuesday. He's also expected to have a working lunch with Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The UN chief wrote to Putin this week requesting a meeting to discuss the next steps toward peace in Ukraine. He also wrote to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Guterres' spokesperson said his office is in contact with the government in Kyiv about scheduling a visit there. Guterres also appealed this week for a 4-day humanitarian pause to coincide with Orthodox Easter, which is celebrated in Ukraine and Russia on Sunday, April 24th. So far, those efforts have failed. At a Friday's press conference in Moscow, Lavrov said talks to end the fighting in Ukraine are at a standstill because Kyiv has not responded to Moscow's latest set of proposals. But AP reported that Russia's lead negotiator at the talks with Ukraine confirmed that he had several long conversations with the head of the Ukrainian delegation on Friday. The Moldovan Foreign Ministry said it has summoned Moscow's ambassador Friday to express what it called deep concern about comments by a top military commander who suggested the country's Russian-speaking population was being oppressed. The Foreign Ministry said on its website, quote, "These statements are unfounded. Moldova is a neutral state, and this principle must be respected by all international actors, including the Russian Federation." And the UN Human Rights Office says there is growing evidence that Russia committed war crimes in Ukraine. The UN said it also appears that Ukraine has used weapons with indiscriminate effects. This is VOA News. The Biden administration in the United States has been phasing out use of a pandemic-related rule that allows migrants to be expelled without an opportunity to seek asylum. AP correspondent Norman Hall reports.
U.S. authorities have processed more single adults from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador in recent weeks under immigration laws, which include a right to seek asylum. That's according to a statement filed by Homeland Security in federal court in Louisiana. Louisiana, Arizona, and Missouri sued this month to keep the rule. 18 other states later joined and have asked a federal judge to stop what they called the premature implementation of the end of the rule. It's set to expire May 23rd. Migrants have been expelled more than 1.8 million times under the rule, which was invoked by the Trump administration in March 2020 to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Norman Hall, Washington.
The Palestinian Red Crescent said 31 people were injured Friday, including 14 who were taken to hospitals when violence erupted on a Jerusalem compound that is considered sacred to both Jews and Muslims. Officials say after Palestinians began throwing rocks at the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Israeli police intervened with rubber bullets and stun grenades. The AP reports the police were in full riot gear. The location is known to Jews as the Temple Mount and to Muslims as the Noble Sanctuary. Visits to the site by Jewish groups were halted Friday, as they usually are for the last 10 days of Ramadan. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy has made a call to former U.S. President Donald Trump following the release of an audio recording from shortly after the January 6th Capitol insurrection from last year, in which he told Republican leaders he'd urge the then president to resign. AP correspondent Ben Thomas has more.
Two people familiar with the call characterize it as positive. One saying Trump told McCarthy, quote, "I'm not mad at you." McCarthy had challenged the initial report of his comments as totally false, but the New York Times released audio of that discussion and later another, a Republican conference call 5 days after the Capitol riot, in which McCarthy tells his caucus Trump acknowledged some responsibility for the deadly insurrection. McCarthy is currently in line to become Speaker if Republicans win control of the House this fall, but he's seen as heavily reliant on Trump's support to get there. Ben Thomas, Washington.
And recapping this hour's top story, the United Nations has announced that Secretary-General Antonio Guterres will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow on Tuesday. There have also been efforts to reach out to Kyiv as well. Via remote, I'm Marissa Melton, VOA News.